in a regular expression, a $sign is used to indicate the end of a line. So I told this thing to look for the end of a line arg setting. You get it? Which obviously is not something that's ever going to happen. Well, what if you put an escape in front of it? Well, no. Then you'd be searching for the character $sign, which also is not what you want. Yeah, I know, it's weird. It's a weird thing. I've done this before, and all of a sudden it's like escaping me. This is good music for this, though. So you can't put, I just solved this recently too, like the other night in another code, another bit of code. And all of a sudden it escapes me. Alright, so here's the deal. In a regular expression, not just in Perl, but in any regular expression, Perl-compatible regular expressions as they are called, PCRE. In a PCRE, you can say, replace this string with that string, right? Is what I'm typing. So you could say that. And that's fine. You can also say, replace this string with that variable, right? And it replaces this string with the contents with the value of that variable, right? That's fine too, okay? You cannot say, replace this variable, right, with the contents of another variable. Like, you can't say match whatever is inside that variable with the contents of another variable, right? So, at least you can't do it directly. Maybe there is a way. I think there might be a way, but I think the syntax is hideously ugly from what I saw. So, what you need to do if you want to use a variable on the left-hand side without resorting to some insanely ugly syntax, at least in my opinion, is make a variable called expression, right? I'll just call it exp here because it's not going to live very long. In the expression, put in the expression variable, which is a string. Pardon me, I've been talking for hours now. Put the expression that you intend to use, right? So since you want to use arg setting, a variable in there, put that variable inside the string, right? And sorry, actually, put the entire expression inside there. Is this working right? How did I do this? Hold on a second. Is this how I did this? How the fuck did I do this the other night? You know what? I'm gonna actually have to look at that. It's in panel server visitor log. This is the program that generates the display for the hype command. It's a new command. I think it's on the GitHub now. It generates all these visitor cards. They're like the classier stage ghost equivalent of those spammy subscriber count cards you find on some channels. Yes, I just dissed everybody with subscriber count cards. All right, let's see how I did that. I'm using an eval. Okay, what does it do? It does. It's the whole expression. It's the entire expression. Okay, I get it. So you make a variable, call it expression, just like I did in the code I wrote the other night, and set it literally to the expression that you want to execute. Pardon me. Yes, I did just burp, but see, I didn't burp right in the mic. So now you're going to have to escape variable names. So, and I'm typing it again because I think this is my penance. I deserve this for having been so boneheaded about that. Okay, and in your expression, do not escape the variables, because they're about to be evaled, right? That's what about to happen here. What abouts? This is what abouts to happens. And fracking, frack, frack, fracking, frack, frack. Fracking, frack, 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 fracking, frack. The thing is, I'm not sure if this part's gonna... Is this part gonna work? Yeah, okay, so that has to be escaped. Alright, okay, so now I've got a variable called expression. It's basically a regular expression. It's, you know, the code that you would write for the regular expression. The only exception for that is that the variable name that's being assigned to is escaped. So the $sign is escaped. Else, it would be interpolated during the assignment. Oh man, this is getting super geeky. Okay, so now I can say, I just deleted all of that code. Well, it wasn't working anyways, right? Now I can say if eval expression. Wait a minute, that might not be right. I think eval expression might work even if the expression doesn't work. You get what I'm saying? This is like, for example, if you say, did you know that in many languages, yeah, this would be a fun demonstration, maybe. Maybe I'm killing time. Say, if you say, right, there wasn't any code. I'm doing a one-liner Perl again. If you say, if 1 equals 1, then say print, actually, let's say, yeah, if 1 equals 1, then say print hello, right? Okay, see how it printed hello? That's because 1 equals 1, right? Now, what if I go and if I say, if 1 equals 3, then print hello? It doesn't print hello, right? Well, of course not, because computers do math pretty good. Now, if I've haven't slept for 3 days, and instead of using equals equals, which is the comparison operator in Perl, arithmetic comparison operator, say I use equals instead, which is the assignment operator, and I say if 1 equals 1, then print hello, then it says can't modify scalar. Sorry. Let's do this again. What if I say if $x equals 1, right? What is going on with this? Oh, I have to escape it. Right. If I say variable x equals 1, right? If I say variable x equals 1, which it doesn't, then it doesn't say hello, right? But if I say if variable x equals 1, I don't use the comparison operator, I use the assignment operator, it does say hello, right? Which probably should have said true, right? So, in other words, it says x is equal to 1, even though it isn't. X is equal to 0. Well, why does it say it's true? Because I said x equals 1. I was assigning it. I wasn't comparing it. If I compare it with equals equals, it says, it doesn't say true, right? See? I'm using equals equals. It doesn't say true, because it's not true. X hasn't been set to anything. It's 0, right? But if I say x equals 1, it thinks that's true, right? No, it doesn't think it's true. It's doing what I told it. The result of assigning the value 1 to the variable x was successful. So the result of that operation is 1. You get it? The result of the operation of assigning this variable, in other words, were you able to successfully assign that variable, is yes. So if you ask, if, what is the value of x equals 1? It's always going to say yes. The value is true. The value is yes. Yes, I successfully assigned that value. Right? So this can really bite you in the ass in a lot of languages, because you'll, it's not an error. It's not going to break. There's no syntax error here. This is totally legit. It's just not saying what you think it's saying. Why did I get on that? Well, it was fun anyways. I like talking about that kind of stuff. Alright, Kev, so here's the expression. Oh, that's why. Because I just said if eval that thing, which is probably true. even if the expression wasn't matched, it's probably true. Because the eval operation did, in fact, happen, right? It was like, yeah, I did the evaluation. It was false. So true. Computers are annoyingly pedantic. So that's just the way of the world with them. So instead, I'm going to check the value of $1, which is a bit sloppy, actually. But honestly, if it works, I probably won't come back. I'll be like, screw it. There is plenty of other code that needs to be written for this project. There's code that Dan Plays Games is waiting on, I'm sure. If he's still out there. And, oh man, did my display break over there? It's way on the other side of the room. And, this broke, seriously broke, for reals broke. See? Caveman unit testing, huh? It could have saved us. Let's see here. What's going on with it? God, line 273. Right where we were. It's pissed off because there's an extra parent. Extra closed parent. And, we're back in business. Alright. Oh, man, I think I'm winding down here. I might turn it into a marathon if I take, like, a break or something. A long break, maybe a sandwich break. Okay, well, it says none of these have descriptions. DronesoundTV, no description. Well, well, no, that's not good. It's exactly where we were. I don't know the results of the expression. That is one thing. Well, let me think here. Config it. Command. Alright. I have an idea. This is really awful. I'm going to make a thing called temp pins. Oh god, this is really terrible. It's going to be a complete copy of config it. Okay? Now, why would I bother doing that? Because I'm about to jack the crap out of it. I'm going to use a search and replace expression instead. The reason is because once this eval's finished, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if this eval is taking place like inside its own like little world or something. So, within its own scope. So instead, I'm going to replace the thing that was searched for with the thing that was found. Alright, yeah, that should do it. Alright, and then I run it, and then instead of testing $1, which arguably was even sloppier than this, I'm gonna test temp pins. In other words, temp pins originally it starts as a complete copy of all the hints, and then it gets smashed such that with one regular expression, you can do this in Perl, or any regular expression. It just gets smashed in such a way that everything except for what I'm looking for gets chucked. And yeah, it's brutal. But that's how we do. We don't play around here. It says no description. Oh god, it's probably staring me in the face. It always is. It always is. It's like right here. I went on this whole rant like on one of my Geek sessions about this. I know what the bug is because I wrote the bug, right? It's not like there's any code in here that I didn't write. I wrote it. So I know the bug. I wrote it. Why am I hiding it from myself? Stupid self. Alright. Do I have to treat this as... What about the other eval? How was I doing? How'd the other eval work? I want to see. I can't even find that. Never mind. I think I'm getting frustrated. No. No. Fight back the darkness. Oh snap. Is that a complete instruction with a semicolon? Without a semicolon? Probably not. I'm holding my head in my hands right now. You can't see. See, that's when the camera would be good, I guess. Because then you could really, you know, participate in my agony. Alright, please be fixed, because I'll be like out of here. Way so many other things I gotta fix. No description. I mean, this isn't even a fix. This is an enhancement. Why am I doing this to myself? There's things that need actually fixing. Like YT refresh tokens, like clobbers DPG tokens. Right at like after hours of getting them working, and then blam. It doesn't do that anymore, by the way. It shouldn't, at least. Hold on a second here. Shoutouts to what is it, Mike Leghorn? Yeah. Shoutouts to Mike Leghorn. Beautiful rendition of Chromatic Fantasy, I believe. You'll find him on soundcloud.com/Mike-Leghorn. Again, I believe this is his Arturio microbrute rendering of Chromatic Fantasy box. Chromatic Fantasy, of course. I believe, isn't this supposed to be an exercise for students? What a dick. Oops, sorry. Yeah, sure, dude. This is easy. Thanks. I just wanted to play hot cross buttons. I'm going to turn the microphone off while I scream at the top of my lungs. I feel better. I do. Hold on. Trying to remember if there is a way to, oh god, use a variable. There's 10 ways to do anything in Perl. This eval might not be the smartest way. Let's just think a second here, just think a second here. Just think. Let me look at that thing again. The last time I was using eval. Which, it's not, I don't think it was an applicable application. It's in panel server visitor log. It does an eval, and, fracking frack. What does it do? What does it do that's different? What does it do that's different? Nothing. It does treat it as a multi-line match. It is a multi-line match. so is this, actually. That's a greedy match on this one. It has a G after the, at the end of the regular expression. You'll usually, you'll find these in your O'Reilly quick ref for the language in question. Regarding the regular expressions, you'll find them in the quantifiers. They call them quantifiers. Or qualifiers? Quantifiers? Qualifiers? Quantifiers. Hold on. Quote it. What? I'm quoting the replacement expression. No, that's not it. Man. Sometimes you just want to, like, rip the, like, I'll just, like, take all 6 lines out and just start it over again. You know, erase, sort of thing. And that wasn't working. Oh, hey, for once Drone TV is doing its job and actually calming me down. And then, oh, wait, in a minute there's going to be like an air raid siren. Fuck. You know, when I started doing these Geek shows, I started doing them on Twitch. And they were like hours and hours long too. I would do like marathon sesh overnight. Oh, this is too dope a track. I'm just gonna let it run. And people used to love these parts, man. Seriously, they would just watch me like hold my head in my hands for 15 minutes, shaking my head back and forth, or like tapping a pen on the table, going, "What the fuck?" That's actually a big part of coding. Moving the cursor around. Sometimes I just move the cursor back and forth. I'll move it back and forth like one character at a time. Like, have I checked this character? Have I checked this character? Yeah, I have. Check that one? Yeah, that one's right. Alright, quiet time. It's quiet. It's meditation time. Meditation time. I'm going to look at this for a while. We're just going to listen to music and sound effects and like just stare at this until wisdom of the ages unveils itself.
money, I'm covered in money. These bitches, these niggas, they all want some from me. I'm covered in money, I'm covered in money. Just stop at the front and I go back to court. Before they try to take the trap, I heard what you touching the judge. I've been getting money like this for a while. Hey, now me let me let my brothers, my people was serving they either before by their features. My mama see that she know how to grip it, she know how to keep it, she better get greedy. I hit the lottery. Tell me your thoughts and you better not lie to me. Like a collar. Ain't my product, I'm out of community, ain't my product. Switching that gas, we switching that gas, we blowing up fast, we blowing up fast, we put on that mask and come with that cash. Check. I got a mother from right at the border, you know what you know, but don't tell it. Ain't even no government cut on my locks. I'm covered in money, these bitches, these niggas, they all so from me. I'm covered in money, just stop at the front and I go back that quick. Before they try to take the trap, I heard what you touching that judge. I've been getting money like this for a while. Treat me like royalty, you want my dog, I'm from my home. Check out my blessings and sit it. What you wishing up, go to the floor. Why you be selling from niggas to shit? With that bitch, you know that she top. Working on feeding the kids. Ain't you enjoying this life I created? Your attitude not fit in this situation. Put me up under your investigation. I'm a partner with no limitations. My money so long, these bitches get tight. I need lawyers to throw away cases. No finger traces, you can't get a statement. Finally, these niggas that game. I'm covered in money, I'm covered in money. These bitches, these niggas, they all want some from me. I'm covered in money, I'm covered in money. Just stop at the front and I go back to court.
And I'll make 150,000 such doses. Let us observe the effect some 3 hours later.
Look at this cutting. I couldn't possibly hear this. It's here. Feel it? This whole room. Everything is in color, and I can feel the air. I can see it. I can see it all around.
An ounce of this material will make 150,000 such doses. Let us observe the effect some 3 hours later.
Look at this cutting. I couldn't possibly hear this. It's here. Feel it? This whole room. Everything is in color, and I can feel the air. I can see it. I can see
Do not get overexcited on the microphones. How do they do that? Like at the Grammys, they're all, whoa. Somewhere backstage, there's a sound man going, ah, lady. I mean, you know, or, I mean, I always just assume that Andy Dick's there, so that's why I said lady. Good recovery, huh? Yeah, that was pretty good. All right, well, hey, this is reassured. This is positive. Pretty good. Pretty good. All right, it's just pumping out the whole thing, but that's, you know, something we can whittle away on. All right, during the quiet time, what I remembered is how you do use a variable in the left-hand side of a regular expression, and that is that you do in Perl. You do $, $. This mic is too hot. Hold on. You do $, and then the variable name. So that means treat this as a variable instead of treating the $, as the end of the line, which is what $, usually means. One moment. Anyways, this is going to end up in CGI bin setup in the fn get hint function. Probably pretty near the bottom. Right now it's around line 270. So expression needs a little tweaking. Right now it grabs everything after. Everything including. Okay, so we don't want that. Oh, that's because I'm returning debug and then the whole thing that was matched. So this is very close, actually almost here. And it still returns just debug and that. Good. Matches a word and then dot anything. White space, mark setting. White space, okay. Just about there. And good. It's just returning the debug part now, and I'm just tweaking this a little bit more. That's weird. SG Colors has no description. It went back to that. What happened? I didn't change anything here. I changed the expression. Oh, I love this sound. It's fireworks, actually. Some guy uploaded this to Freesound. I love this thing. I like it so much I looked it up one time. I was like, wow, what is that? Okay, so it's returning the channel, the name of the field we're looking for. Again, field is a config setting name, and the description. So, I mean, that's almost there. So, the only problem is it's returning too much of it. And I don't feel like writing this the right way. You know what we're going to do, right? We're going to make a temp hints like we did before. That's right. I've written and erased this code several times now. And so will you if you pursue a career in programming. You could be writing the same code over and over again. Or helping doctors in the front office. Let's see here. Okay. So now I'm just going to like totally clobber this thing. I don't care, like jack it. Now I can use the like search and no. Whoa. We went down that route before. got 10 pins in there. This is working right. Oh wait, yeah, the search and replace would have worked actually. The search and replace screen would have worked. I should have broke down and cracked open the O'Reilly Rev like I did eventually. Here we go, so it's got to be take the arc setting and replace that with the thing that was matched, and that should work. And that I don't have to do any doubles because like that's what it's supposed to do. It's designed for that purpose. That way down here I can just return the value of 10 pins to the calling function, caller as we refer to it. So about programming, you've got these things called functions, or depending on the context or language, they might be called methods or macros, evals, all kinds of different names, but really they're all just globs of code that you're gonna run and then get things back from, and very often pass things to. So that's usually the model. There's some little group of code. In this language and in our current application, it's a function. Actually, in Perl, who knows why? Euphemistically, they call them functions, but you use the word sub for them. I like to call them with names like FN in front. Even in actually every language, I put FN in front. That way, I know it's a function of some sort. So, and actually, I picked this. Actually, I picked this habit up from assembler, so it's not specific to Perl or anything. But it's a good habit. That way, when you're looking at your code, you're like, is that a variable or a function? It's a function. In some languages, it can be hard to tell. So, here's a sub. It's called fn-get-hint. We send it some things. In this case, it's the name of a config variable setting, like DroneTV.colors, or sorry, SG.colors. And it does some operation using that thing that we sent in, and it returns something back. Sometimes I think of it like a little door, like a door at a pizza parlor where you order pizza, and you go up and you put something in, like $1 and the commands for, pepperoni, and it gives you back a slice of pizza, like with your modifications. In this case, it's pepperoni, or pepperoni in that case. In this case, it returns the value of the description from the where were these? config/sg.hints file. I know that was a long description, but this is a lot happening, right? So that's what code is about. As I said, it's usually the code itself is much shorter than describing what's going on. I guess being a programmer is really the practice of taking a long string of human ideas, like this is what I want to do, and turning it into this compact description in code. I've often thought that programming will be obsolete when you can just talk to the computer and say, hey computer, and the computer says yes, and you say, I have this file, and it goes, what file? Well, it's called this file over here, and you send it there, and it says, okay, I've looked at it. Okay, I want to make an instruction called get hints, and it goes, okay, what should it do? It should look in this file, and it should give me anything that matches what I tell it to get. You get what I mean? It should write this code. Why am I writing this code? Someday programmers are going to be obsolete. I mean, the computer has millions of examples of code that does this work. Already in this one kit, it has many of the examples of code that does this same work. It should be able to figure it out. I'm really into AI too, by the way. You can check out, good time for a plug. You can check out github.com/DieMasterMonkey, where you will find some AI-related projects now and in the future. Good timing, by the way. Dan plays games, because I think this is sufficient project. I've earned a progress. I've earned a break. all I got to do now is cut out the extraneous part of these results that are being returned. And I think we've just done a bunch of that now. Let's run it again, see what the most recent results look like. Well, actually, to be fair, it got slightly worse. It's returning like all of the descriptions, but it starts with the description that we need. So that's easy, right? Throwing away the rest. That's the exercise for the reader during my break. Look up in a regular expression how to throw away everything after something. In this case, it's everything after the end of a line, so it should be easy, actually. That's a pretty easy regular expression, like Regex 101. But, so, thanks for tuning in, and I'm going to take a quick break. And actually, let me shell out real quick to do a commands note and BRB from the system. And also quick shout outs to On Being. You find them on soundcloud.com/onbeing, ONBEING. They are the purveyors of this lovely piano music we're hearing right now. And you're tuned into DronesoundTV. Thanks for tuning in. Shouts in to volunteer DJ Dan Plays Games. I'm back in about 5 or 6 minutes.
One thing's for sure, I've been loving you more and more. And for sure, I'll be loving you more and more. Yeah, for sure, I'll be loving you more. More and more and more.